Hello, graduate students, and happy Graduate Student Appreciation Week. Let me start by saying, and this is from everybody in the Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences, as well as all faculty and staff and the entire institution, how appreciative we are that you're part of our community and how proud we are of your successes thus far. So this has been quite an interesting year, to say the least. If 15 months ago you would have told me that in 15 months we would be facing almost 3 million deaths worldwide and still fighting this pandemic, I don't think I wouldn't have believed it. I certainly couldn't have envisioned that. It kind of reminds me, it makes me think about, I grew up, my mom was a polio survivor, so it's something that I thought a lot about, and it sort of gives me a sense of, it's on a different scale, but it gives me a sense of what it must have been like at the beginning of the last century for her and her family and friends. It's the remarkable thing, if I can use that word about this, is this single event has sort of focused and changed the entire world all at once, and we're sort of in the middle of this and witnessing this in real time. And I know that sounds like, we've heard that kind of thing before, and no doubt we have, and it almost sounds trite, but it brings up a point that I want to make, and that is, throughout all of this, as difficult it's been, how proud we have been of how resilient you have been. I mean, when we took to virtual classrooms and virtual learnings, and you guys adapted really quickly. It took us a couple weeks to really stand it up, and we're still learning. But I mean, you took it all in stride. And the other thing that's, I think, makes me proud, and I think that's worth noting, is that you were one of the few groups, you as the graduate students, researchers, were permitted, if you will, to continue your studies on campus, at least the lab studies. Now, I know that caused some angst. I do remember those town halls, and I've certainly felt that angst. But in the end, I think it was a good decision. I think it speaks to the recognition of the institution on how important your work is, and you were able to, those that so desired, were able to continue their work, keep it moving forward, and not lose much time and do this in a safe way. So I think it was good, and well done there to you for that. Now, if a year ago, when we were sort of experiencing one of these surges with rapid rises in infections and hospitalizations and deaths, if you would have told me that by the end of the calendar year, we would have more than one vaccine available, I don't think I would have believed that either. Just again, use polio as an example. The first epidemic reported in the U.S. was in the late 1800s, right before the turn of the century, and it wasn't until the mid-1950s where the polio vaccine was developed, and eventually, of course, it eradicated it in the U.S. at least. And so we've come a long way. Science has come a long way. And so my second point I want to make is it's a great time, if you will, to be a scientist. This has been the ability for science to mitigate this has really speaks to something that you've known and I've known, but the world at large sometimes needs a reminder of how important basic science is. This will be a cause that you'll continue to deal with as you move on in your careers, but at least now, this pandemic is a stark reminder of why we have to keep science moving forward. So, life is slowly getting back to normal. We're not there yet, but we're getting there. I do think we're beginning to see light at the end of the tunnel, and I really can't wait. The thing I look forward to more than anything is to see you all back on campus, to hear about your trials and tribulations, and to celebrate with you your successes. So I want to say again, from all of us in the graduate school, again, thank you for being part of our community. Thank you for your resilience during this. Thank you for your patience with us. But more than anything, thank you for the compassion that you've shown each other. So, again, happy Graduate Student Appreciation Week. We love you guys. Keep moving forward. Stay well.